was about to say happy Friday, but it's actually Wednesday because we're switching this up a little bit. And welcome to another episode of Mavens of Manufacturing, the live video broadcast series where we're bringing women together in the sector, learning about their stories and hearing about how they're changing the standards for the advanced manufacturing sector. This episode is brought to you by Factory Fix, which is a manufacturing talent platform that combines the power of a talent network featuring over 400,000 skilled manufacturing pros and a recruiting platform built specifically for the manufacturing industry. I'm really excited today because we have the lovely Lauren LaDell from Motor City Spindle. Hi, Lauren. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I feel like I've known you for years because I've been following you for quite some time now. And
likewise.
I'm just really excited that you're here today. I finally got to meet you at the Advanced Manufacturing Expo with Joni, and it was really excited to learn that you're also a fellow Wisconsinite. So
we love our cheese, man. Go Pack, go.
In our beer.
In our beer, yes.
So here's just a shout out to Daniel. He's here. Hello. Anyone that's here listening live, feel free to drop questions in the comments section below. I'll try to pull you up during our conversation. I don't want to interrupt Lauren too much, though, because this is about her today. So you are the national sales manager, correct, for Motor City Spindle Repair. So can you give us a brief background what Motor City Spindle Repair is and get into the story of how you started out in manufacturing?
Yeah, so Motor City Spindle Repair specializes in CNC spindle repair, obviously, for machining centers, turning centers, and grinders. We're located in Dearborn, Michigan, and I've been with the company a little over 4 years now, so that's crazy. But yeah, I definitely had no idea about manufacturing before I entered with Motor City. I had a background in sales. I had a background in sports broadcasting. Those were kind of like my two main things at the time, and I gave manufacturing a shot, and here I am still.
What kind of sports?
So I was the sideline reporter. That was kind of like the goal, is to be the next Erin Andrews. So I did a lot of sideline reporting. I interned with ESPN in Wisconsin, worked with like the Milwaukee Wave soccer team here, and did a lot of stuff at my college for sports as well. So that was the goal.
Do you know who the Dazowski twins are?
I do not. Who are they?
They probably were before you started doing all that stuff. So my sister was actually, they were part of the Milwaukee Wave. They were twins, identical twins. Okay. And they played on separate teams. And then Todd, who's my sister's ex-husband, he moved over to Milwaukee Wave, and then his twin brother came on. They played for years, and then Todd got a serious injury and it ended his career. But it was interesting to see that. I never knew that type of soccer existed. I always thought it was like outdoor soccer, World Cup kind of thing. And then when she started dating him, I was like, wow, this is a thing. And it was fun. It was really fun to go to and see how they did that stuff. But
yeah, I actually heard Milwaukee's coming up with a professional team. I think it's starting in 2025, and they're like getting name submissions and for soccer. So that's coming really back to Milwaukee.
That's really cool. We also have Joni here. Hi, Joni. Excited that you're here. She's awesome. I love her. So when you were making that switch, what sort of things were you expecting? Like, what did you think manufacturing was in terms of, what it looked like, what was involved with it? Was it something that you were like kind of weary about, or were you excited to get into it?
I mean, I think it was a little bit of both. I just figured if I could communicate with people and talk to people and hold conversation, that I could transfer easily from any sales industry to another, which definitely was true. But there were some obstacles, as we know, as women in manufacturing, that I didn't necessarily think of at the time or know would happen, or I didn't know exactly what it would entail. So
what does a typical day look like for you then at Motor City Spindle? Because you post a lot of content online, and we'll get into that later, but it's like a healthy mix of, your professional or personal. But what does a day in the life as a sales rep for Motor City look like? What are some of the things that you do, and what sort of questions are you getting asked by your customers, and how do you help them? And is it like travel heavy, or is it something like, because right now you're at your house, obviously, so you're
with my vacuum and carpet cleaner in the background. Love this. Yeah, so it's really changed in the last 4 years. When I started, I'd say the first 2 years of being a sales rep, I was dialing the phones like a madman. My boss actually was like, make a list of 50 people that you call each day. Sometimes that turned into 100. I was dialing, I was messaging on LinkedIn. I was doing a lot of like the work that no one really wants to do as a sales rep. But building my online brand in the last couple of years, I haven't had to do that as much. I still travel. I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of videos. I do a lot of content creation and marketing things, because sales and marketing go hand in hand, obviously. But it's definitely slowed down on the aspect of dialing the phones and doing those messages, because now it's just kind of like, which is why I like online, you post and then it's that reoccurring post will just sell for you down the road. It's always there for people to see. So it makes it a little bit easier as a sales rep now.
Well, and I think that's one of the areas that Motor City Spindle like got right away, because I feel like all of your sales people are on LinkedIn and posting and reposting, and you've built this community around your brand narrative. And I think Motor City understood that right away, because a lot of manufacturers are still kind of hesitant to go on LinkedIn and connect with their customers that way. I've worked with a couple companies where some of their older salesmen were like, I don't want to be on LinkedIn. Like, I don't want to put myself out there, talk to people. And it's like, well, that's what you do. You're a salesperson. So why is this any different versus what you were doing before, dialing people, cold calling them, most likely annoying them because they didn't know who you were, where now they have a face to the name and they can kind of get an idea of what your character is like and what your personality is like. And it's just more intimate, I think, on LinkedIn than it is just over the phone.
Absolutely. And it really is a collective effort. Like, we have all of our sales reps are on LinkedIn. Like you said, our owners are on LinkedIn, who actually pushed that. I didn't believe in LinkedIn back in the day. I didn't think it would be the platform that it is for me now, but Ted definitely pushed me to be consistent, and it's definitely worked out in my favor. But we also have the spindle technicians in the back on LinkedIn too. I mean, machining Thomas Allman, you've probably seen. He's taking content daily. And like I said, it's a collective effort, because people want to see all different aspects of your business. It's not just the sales reps that they want to see. They want to see the technical side too.
Yeah. And I think just the overall culture and how things work within the company as well. I like the shots that you guys do within the shop as well too, where you're showing the machines, you're showing the spindles. I think that just gives a general idea of how you're working together cohesively, which is great.
Yeah.
We have Hank on here. He says, hello from site in Iowa this week. He watches every episode of Mavens with his daughters. So I hope your daughters are watching this too, even though I don't know if he's with them today because he's on site somewhere. But and then we have Michaela. She's awesome. And then Joni said spot on. So you recently released a new video series, which I super excited for because I'm a nerd for information, and they're very educational videos in terms of what you're doing with spindles and what's involved in the different types of spindles. So it's called Spindle Chick Chat, which I think is awesome. How did that concept come to fruition, and what was sort of the thinking behind it, and why did you start that video series?
Yeah, I always wanted to do some kind of a video series. So I was just like, we hired a new videographer. His name's Carl. He's amazing. So we kind of talked, and I'm like, what if we call this the Spindle Chick Chat, and we post it once a week? And it's just informational videos, more of the technical aspect of the industry, because I can sit here and post pictures of me getting taught how to work on these machines. I can sit here and post personal lifestyle pictures, but people want to see that technical content and hear it verbally. So I try and just highlight different things within the manufacturing industry to talk about each week, because people have said that they like to hear that. So, and it's good for me to learn, and really speaking about it makes me learn it even better.
I think that's hugely important as well too, because I know as a woman coming into this sector, it can be a little overwhelming, and just putting yourself in front of what you're selling every single day and learning it makes you just a better salesperson, right?
Yep.
And just and it's not just for salespeople either. It's anyone. It's kind of like what we're trying to push out for the next generation workforce. Like we have to get them in front of the technology, have them have hands-on experience, learn from the experts that are currently in and on their way out so that they get that knowledge and they can become experts themselves. And they can't do that if they're sitting behind the, I personally think they can't do that if they're sitting behind the desk every day and not having hands-on. So it's super cool. There's other videos though that you're doing as well too. Can you talk about some of those? Because I saw that you had like an employee highlight one, and then Ted was on one talking about some different things. What are those video series?
Yeah, those are just, so back in the day, I say this 4 years ago when I started, no one really was doing videos on LinkedIn. I feel like, so Ted pushed me again to do this, and I was sitting there holding my phone like this, like a selfie video. So we've evolved a little bit from that moment, but we do different topics weekly. I mean, we write down a list of what we want to discuss. We go back in the machine shop and interview our own technicians. We sit there and say, what are the main OEMs we've got in this week? Just anything that we feel like would be good content that people in the machining industry, our target audience, would appreciate seeing. So that can be totally whatever you're feeling that week.
That's really cool. We have Whitney on. Hello, tuning in from Sugarland, Texas. That's my favorite country band. Comments showing up for me on LinkedIn. No worries, Whitney. So let's get into your LinkedIn profile. So I checked your profile last, and you're at like over 70,000 followers. And I mentioned before we went live, I was like, I think my head would explode if I had that many followers. So what does that mean to you? Because I know a lot of people are on social media, and it's kind of like validation in a way. Like, okay, what I'm saying actually matters, and it's kind of a sign of credibility and that people trust you or they like what you're doing. What does it mean personally to you to have that many followers? And is it a little overwhelming? Does it bother you? Does it make you anxious, or is it something that you like and you're shooting for more? Like,
yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I think it shows that people like what I'm doing and to keep doing it. I've been consistently posting 5 days a week for 4 years. So it's definitely not something that happens overnight. It takes some consistency and dedication. So that's awesome to see that it's paid off. I think the main thing that I like seeing from LinkedIn is I get the messages saying, you're such an inspiration to my daughters. We just are so proud of you advocating for us in this industry. Like those messages make it all worth it. Even if I had 20 followers, getting that kind of a message is the only kind of validation that I truly love.
yeah.
So that's really special. It does get overwhelming. I try and respond to as many messages as I can, but sometimes that just isn't the case. But other than that, it's really cool. I'd love to keep doing what I'm doing and see where it goes, but I'm not like, hey, I need to hit this milestone, or, it's not like that for me. It's just success.
I think it's cool because, we need more women in this sector, and you've created a couple posts surrounding that already. And I really like the post that you did today about, you're dating yourself kind of, and, you should be happy with yourself and not try to copy or imitate other people. So I think that's really important for younger girls to hear as well too when coming into this sector, because yes, it's still male dominated, but it's getting better and there's improvements. But we need them to show up as their authentic selves so that we can start getting more of those ideas and innovations and advancements in technologies. And it's just better overall for diversifying the thought process and getting the best technology. So what are you doing more specifically outside of what you're posting on LinkedIn to help inspire that next generation workforce? Because you've been at a couple events.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing or collaborating with Motor City Spindle in terms of educating the next generation workforce and trying to recruit them in?
Yeah, so I do a lot of video interviews like this, which I'm so honored to be here. Thank you for having me. But I do this as much as possible because I want to reach other people's audiences. I do a lot of podcast type things where I'm voice recording. I just got an interview for a position to do a video host job. in Nashville. So that's kind of exciting for us, for me and Motor City, both of our brands, because we go cohesively, obviously. But yeah, I'd love to do the things that you're doing too, Meaghan. Like you're this week going to Michigan to speak to high schools, right?
Yep.
That's super exciting.
So it's an event. I was going to actually announce that later on. And that
sorry.
No, that's okay. The video series that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I knew about that. I knew about that, and I was really excited.
Oh, thanks.
I was like, I hope you're talking to Lauren. And they're like, we actually are. And I'm like, yes, she's awesome. So
I'm really hoping I get that. Sounds like a super cool opportunity. So that'd be something cool for sure.
So, I don't think we can talk about it too much.
Nope.
Look out for it.
Yeah.
Because it will be amazing. But yeah, the Digital Divas event, I can talk about it now. So that's going on at Eastern Michigan University, and there's going to be, they said 500 students there. So I'm really like nervous, but excited at the same time, because it's important for younger girls to see us being successful and, you know, getting through, because yeah, there's negative everywhere you go, but I think there's more great things going on in this sector. And again, we need a diverse workforce so that we can be the best that we can be. And to be able to, like, if I can inspire just one girl out of that 500, it's a good day. I'm like you. I like those messages where moms are like, you know, thank you, you're inspired. Or Hank, even, you know, his 2 daughters every week. I think that's amazing. And it's like, that's why I do this. I want little girls to know that they can come into this space and rock it out.
Exactly.
So, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you get a lot of, and I mentioned this before, you get a lot of not so positive comments on some of your posts. And
yeah, I love that for me.
I just want to call it, like, they're kind of creepers, you know. Yes. And if I'm offending you,
You're not.
I'm not you, but the people.
Oh, my post. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not really sorry that I'm calling you a creeper. Just be less creepy, I guess. But you talk about, you know, having a healthy mix between personal versus professional posts. I've seen some comments where they're like, this isn't Facebook and this is not professional. And
my favorite comment.
Yeah, which makes me laugh, because usually they follow up, this is not professional, with really unprofessional. I'm like, who's
very hypocritical.
Yeah, right. So why is it important for you to show both that professional side and personal side? How does that help you, not just as a salesperson, but also help elevate Motor City Spindle?
Because people want to connect with other people. It's as simple as that. If you are literally giving a sales pitch 24/7, you're going to get boring very, very quickly. Also, when you're trying to sell a product, you are a person trying to sell a product. That's just, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. So people want to connect with someone that they can have a conversation with, who's just another human, just the girl next door. Like, so that's why I want to do a balance of those professional and personal posts, so that people can see that I'm not just a sales rep at Motor City Spindle Repair. We get that. Like, we all are aware of that that's my position. I want them to see that, you know, I have 2 dogs. I am a sister. I am a daughter. This is what I love to do in life. Because I just want to connect with people and form genuine relationships, because that will then in turn create sales for myself, because they know me.
I like the post that you did a while ago too, just, you know, claiming what your faith was. And I think a lot of people get uncomfortable with that type of conversation, because not everybody believes in something. But again, it's just another portion of who you are and what makes you you, and why you make the decisions that you make and how you live life. And I kind of chuckle a little bit at what offends people nowadays. And it's like, just keep scrolling if you don't like it. It's totally fine. If you disagree with someone, you don't have to be so disrespectful. So I think that's another area for women, at least in this sector. We have more of an intent of bringing people together than dividing them. I think with your personal and your professional posts, that's a great healthy mix. And if you guys don't like it, stop being creepers. Just keep scrolling.
Right.
Really. So, in terms of, like, you know, because you went from sports industry to the engineering and manufacturing, and, you know, I've met several other women who've started out in one. I met a psychologist, and she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So she learned how to weld. And then she took what she did as a psychologist and applied it to how she was teaching people how to weld. So now she's a certified welder, and she teaches other people how to weld. I've talked to several interior designers who now own their own manufacturing company. They started out in marketing, and now they're a manufacturing business owner. So what sort of advice would you give other women who are considering maybe switching their career pathways? Because there's still this misconception that if you're, a woman, you can't really move up the ladder, which is not the case. Or if you're even a working mom, it's difficult to be in this sector. So do you have some advice for them?
Sorry, my dog is jumping on me. Yes, absolutely. So I'd say first, do your research and figure out what facet of the industry you would be interested in, because to be in the manufacturing industry, you don't have to be actually working the machine tools. You're still in the manufacturing industry if you're in marketing or if you're in writing or sales. I mean, we're all a cohesive industry. So you don't have to be making pieces to be in this industry. So find out what you're good at and don't be discouraged. Find people that you can look up to and some role models to see what they're doing to pave their way and help the next generation or whoever is interested be successful here. There's definitely women that both of us can recommend to follow and check in on and see what they're doing. And I would also say definitely just remain true to yourself. That post, like you just mentioned about my faith, not everyone posts about that, but I did. And not that it's about followers, but I got a whole new following because of that. And just remain true to who your authentic self is, because everyone else is doing their thing and is taken. So yeah, that.
Really good point. Well, what can we expect in the future, not just from you, but also Motor City Spindle? I know you said that opportunity might be a thing in Nashville, but what else can we expect from you? What events are you going to go to? What events is Motor City planning to attend? How can we find you guys in the future?
So we're definitely going to keep up. If you check out our website, we have a blog on there that we post on weekly that discusses all of our upcoming events. So you can stay tuned on that. Our monthly newsletters I send out as well. But we're definitely going to keep doing the trade show route, the really important trade shows, the open houses, things like that. But I definitely need to get into schools like you are. That's on our horizon. Something I need to plan out a little bit more, but we'd love to start talking to the youth more and be more present in schools for sure.
I might have an opportunity for you later on. So in May, Andrew Crow and I are getting together to present to the community that I grew up in. And I'm trying to, so he told me that Wichita has been his biggest event. So I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. I'm going to make it bigger. So it's going to be in my hometown, and I'm hoping to get at least 400 people present, and that's including students with their families as well as community leadership. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that, because if you want to come and speak there, I think that would be a great opportunity for you to get in.
Awesome. Where's your hometown?
Beloit, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, we could totally kick Wichita's butt.
See,
it was our state, baby.
Yeah, our state. And I told him, and Andrew's like, I don't know, and nothing against Wichita, I love y'all, but
no, nothing on Wisconsin.
Yep. So I'll give you more details on that. We had a few more comments. We had Joni saying Digital Divas, LOL, kind of. I don't know what that was in reference to. Michaela, love that. Mike, well said. And then Whitney loves be yourself because everyone else is taken. I love that as well too, Whitney. So, and then can you send me the info on this too? Yes, Joni, I will definitely send you information. I will keep you all posted. We have a meeting in December to talk about it and plan it more. But I think they're excited because I brought 30 kids from Beloit to IMTS, and they were absolutely like flabbergasted how much they didn't know existed within engineering and manufacturing, because they're only learning that small piece. And Fran from Accelerated Manufacturing Brokers, she's the one that sponsored the bus. So it was awesome. So hopefully some of those kids will be there. I'm talking to Deb, who helped me organize it, but she's like, who are the 4 students? Send me that video. And she's going to have them at the event too. So I'm really excited about that. Before I let you go, I like to ask all of my guests, if you had one ask for our audience, what would that ask be for them?
I would say, as simple as this is, just support one another. I mean, engage in each other's posts, celebrate others' successes, as little as that may be, or as big as that may be. Especially if you're a woman, women supporting women is how we grow, especially in male dominated industries. So I would say there shouldn't be jealousy. There shouldn't be competitiveness. There shouldn't be any of that. If you see someone succeeding, be happy for them because they want to be happy for you. I mean, it should be vice versa. So support one another and build each other up because that's how we're going to grow.
That's such a really good point. And this is just a little like personal experience with that. Like when I first started Mavens, I mentioned before how people were telling me who to be like and who not to be like. And
yeah,
they were kind of setting me up as like competitors with other women. And it's like, no, I want women to succeed in this sector. So if they're doing better than me, fantastic. I want to support them for that because we need to lift each other up. Because that's such a great point. Like we have to stop. And that's something I always tell my daughter too, because she and her friends or frenemies, they compete with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like just compliment one another. The best advice I learned. So great piece of advice. Lauren, I want to thank you so much for being flexible with me. I know you were initially scheduled for Friday, but because of the Eastern University of Michigan event came up, I reached out to you and I said, hey, can we reschedule this somehow? And you were on board with that. So I appreciate your flexibility. If anybody has questions about Motor City Spindle, where should they go and how can they get a hold of you?
They can send me a direct message if they feel like it. Otherwise, my email is lauren@motorcityrepair.com, and I definitely answer all of those. So whatever works best for you.
Awesome. Thanks again, Lauren. Thank you all for joining in on our conversation. Make sure you tune in again on Friday because I will be at Eastern University, Michigan, and we will be live from that event. I'll be talking to two of the people that are supporting Digital Divas, and you'll be able to hear about the event, and hopefully we can get maybe one or two of the high school girls in on the conversation. But that will be at some specified time. I'm going to release that later today, so check out for that. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
We know hiring quality manufacturing talent isn't always easy and that there can be a lot of moving parts. That's why Factory Fix is introducing a powerful new tool, Talent Text. No more candidate no-shows. Talent Text allows you to connect with candidates up to 5 times faster than you or even the best recruiter can. Job openings happen overnight. Candidates fall by the wayside and emails get buried and forgotten. Through 3-directional chat, Factory Fix Talent Pros help put you in the hand of a highly skilled worker within seconds. Find quality faster at factoryfix.com.